Yeah, it looks like we're streaming. We're streaming, baby.
Okay. I mean, I've got like just
Yay!
a buffering. All right.
Steam stream status is excellent, but we're now in 720. Hello. Hey, Spuddy.
Yeah.
Shout out, Spuddy.
It's doing a bit of jumping.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Oh wait, there we are. No, it's very delayed.
3 people watching.
Yeah, it must be that old dial-up modem you've still got. 28.8 kbps.
Maybe 5 p.m. is the worst time, just with all the traffic, you know?
Like with our amazing internet speeds here in Australia.
Yeah.
Um, like, yeah, because I mean, well, look, I've got a very delayed
That's
thing
okay.
coming through. I mean, we can just do this and we'll see how the video turns out in the end anyway.
Spuddy, let us know about audio levels. How does it all sound? We're still trying to work all this out.
It's a solar flares according to Spud. Um, Beautiful. This is why you just jump in the deep end and realize that yes, now we've got to spend another $10,000 upgrading the internet component
Levels are great, says
of the
Spuddy.
houses. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I think it's fine. Looking on my iPad now, there's a delay in what I'm seeing, but I think coming through on
Well, the best thing,
the thing
Brendan,
is
is you
fine.
don't have to watch it because you're in it. So don't worry about that too much. I guess it's the chat will be delayed
I
for
was
you more
looking
than
for the
anything.
chat. I want to see the chat.
Yeah, okay.
Um, we gotta there's a way for you to then share like your chat stream to
No,
me.
you just
No,
have
that
to you just have to cop the chats 20 seconds later. We'll be all right.
yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, I think I can pause the stream and still see the chat there anyway.
Okay, cool. So what are we doing today, Brendan?
Well, that's a good question. I think for both of us, for those who don't know, I'm Brendan. Um, that's Billy.
Hello.
Hello. We're working on a game called Grovekeeper, and for those in the know, you'll know the hardest thing about making an indie game is not actually the game itself, but it's getting people to be aware of it and buy it. Essentially, you can have the best game in the world and you put it on Steam and then it goes straight from the first page down to the last page and great, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a reason why there's a lot of rather average games that make a fair bit of money is they've got good marketing around them. So part of what this live stream is about is for us to get a little bit more of those marketing beats and skills in ourselves, as well as develop a better relationship with the community. So I think after going to PAX, like it was really great just chatting to people and really exciting seeing how many people were really pumped for this game. So
Yeah.
a lot of them wanted to be involved. The amount of people that were saying, "Hey, give me a playtest key or testing key. Like when's it out?"
Yeah.
was really invigorating. So trying to get them involved in some of the development, give them behind the scenes peaks, get them to hold us accountable because
Yeah.
we're just two guys doing this when we can. And for me personally, I've only got really 1 day a week free at the moment between I teach 2 days a week, I have client work, I have other stuff come up. I have a wife and I also want to have a life that I have a lifestyle that I'm trying to maintain, and that means that really I only get about 1 day a week. Um,
Yeah.
so
Time is the
you know,
big thing, isn't it, for us as well?
it is, and you can fall into that trap of just letting another week go by and another week go by without doing anything. So I think having these regular things, like where we do every week, we update the community on what we've been working on, means we've got to at least have done something that week.
That's true, yeah. We're in limbo a little bit at the moment, aren't we, Brendan? We're like in financial limbo. We're kind of waiting for the results of various kind of financial opportunities. So, yeah, at the moment we're kind of focusing on getting the word out there and getting wish lists up. So in the description of this video is the Steam page. So wish list, please help us out here. Also, yeah, we've done like devlogs in the past. I've done devlogs since the very beginning of this project, which I started like almost 3 years ago now. And the devlogs are good, and they're kind of in depth, and they're of decent quality, if I do say so. But they take a long time to produce as well. And seeing as though we're already time poor, doing something like this allows us to spend less of that precious time on that, and we can still keep the community up to date. So yeah, some of those devlogs that I made take 20 plus hours to make. So this is a way we can keep people updated without wasting or spending so much time.
Yeah, like those devlogs that you've done have got really good production values, but if you kind of weigh that 20 hours up to 20 hours of dev, you kind of know where you'd prefer to put your time. But at the same time, we also understand that you've got to put the time into marketing as well each week. So I think with this, by doing an hour stream a week and then being able to chop that up at the end and just do small snippets from that, rather than those more polished, not thematically themed, because that's the same word, those devlogs with a theme that all ties together that take you that long. Like, maybe there's one of them every now and then, but for the most part, I think this is the way to go.
Yes. So should we talk about Grovekeeper and what Grovekeeper even is?
Yeah. You go for it, Billy. This is your baby.
Okay, well, Grovekeeper is a real-time strategy game where you play the role of a forest and you defend your forest against loggers and poachers that come in waves. So it's a wave-based RTS combat, high fantasy setting. I've been working on this game for ages now. I started it as a sort of a prototype I made while I was studying at uni, game design. And so when I finished, this was the one that kind of had the most promise, this idea. And it was a very, very different looking game back then. And so I've just been like chipping away at it slowly in my own time. When I graduated from video game school, it became apparent that I'm probably not going to go straight into a studio. Those opportunities are maybe not really there for people graduating in our country at the moment anyway, because we're competing with all the Ubisoft employees who've been let go and all the other professionals, so it's really tough to kind of get a foot in the door. So as a way around that, and to just kind of add to the portfolio and keep increasing my skills, I decided to just work on this game. Brendan was my lecturer. He taught me programming and Unity and various other things. And yeah, at some point, Brendan became aware of Grovekeeper, and then he joined the team, which has been awesome, honestly. It's a great help. I mean, I think it's exponential. It's not just 2 times the productivity. It's probably more when you have another person on board. So that's been good. Thank you, Brendan. Shout out.
Yeah, no, and thanks for letting me jump on the project. So I jumped on the project. I was a little bit burnt out on one of my other games that I've been working on for far too long as well. And just having a second person around just motivates you, and you're trying to one-up each other. And not in a negative way, but it's like, cool, I can't wait for Billy to open the project and see this feature. Or just last week when he put in that Stormer feature, it was just like, oh, dang, that's cool. I better up my game now. Wait till you see the controller input that I put in this week, and so forth. So you keep each other motivated as well as accountable to some degree.
Yeah.
And I think, we've got a pretty good balance of the expectations out of each other and understanding, you with your family and your children or child, how much time you need for that. And there's no pushing each other to say, hey, you haven't done your part. But we both know that we're doing as much as we can with the time we have.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Um,
Yeah.
so this has been a great team up.
Hmm.
So that's been really excellent. So should we go through the Miro board, or maybe we show some games that have
Yeah, yeah.
inspired.
What was your inspiration?
Well, okay, there's an amazing game. It's called Dungeon Keeper. Some old heads might know this game, and pretty obviously, Grove Keeper is kind of directly inspired by Dungeon Keeper in its kind of strategy, but mostly kind of its the themes and there are some direct parallels. So I'll just try and get some. Let's switch to this other scene here, Brendan.
Mhm. Cool. Let's see how this all works.
Yeah.
First time switching scenes.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen over here.
Hmm.
Okay. There we go. Okay,
All
so
right.
this is some new capsule art I've been making actually recently. So we've updated that. So let's start with that now, seeing as though we're looking at it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
previously we had we were given some feedback actually about this. So let me just find what the original looked like. We were given some feedback at PAX that basically it didn't look like um, the game that you would be playing what was the right genre. You know, people got the impression that Grove Keeper was going to be a kind of a horror game based on this art, which is what we had before. So this is the art, which is cool. It's a painting that I did, and
Yeah, I love this art,
yeah,
but and it's one of the characters in the game, but it's not really, I think, accurate to the gameplay. Like when I see this as well, like I thought, you know, it's not a zombie game, but is it a
yeah, it
zombie
looks like
horror, whatever?
undead kind of.
Yeah.
It's not clear that this is in fact the protect like the good guy of the game. This is the person that you're playing as. It looks like horror elements, and so
Mm.
we changed it to this. This is a painting that I've done that encapsulates like kind of the game loop a bit better. So the game is broken up into waves, and the way the waves work is that during the night you get the opportunity to plant your grove, and it's a peaceful time, which is, you know, you can see over here we've got kind of peaceful scenes, flowers, nature, happiness, and then during the day the humans come to try and cut all your stuff down. So we have this over here with the people working and, you know, industry and smoke and oppressive kind of vibe over this side. So this kind of works better. It could still do with a little bit of work, but it's, I think, much better, much closer to what the vibe will be.
Yeah, and I just made the comment earlier that it's just the same as Billy's background. Look at those two colors, orange and teal. Like he's taken
Blue
inspiration
and orange here,
from behind yourself.
yeah. Yeah, so let's look at Dungeon Keeper. Hang on. Okay. This is Dungeon Keeper. So Dungeon Keeper is this awesome game by Bullfrog. Peter Molyneux, the guy who did Black and White, is behind this, and it's kind of like this really weird game where you take on the role of like a dungeon, kind of like a dungeon lord, and you're building these dungeons, and you're kind of creating monsters, and you're fighting against the like human knights and soldiers and stuff. So you can see where the kind of parallels come into play here with Grove Keeper, and why kind of, you know, I use the name Keeper as an homage to this game that I loved when I was a kid. And so, yeah, basically you get to control these little guys and yeah, fight the good guys. So it's like that inversion, that flip, that subversion of kind of roles, which was pretty unique at the time. So we got some more footage here. Yeah, some other influences, some more recent ones might be this one here, Thronefall
PAX.
by Jonas Tyrola. This one's a classic. Well, a modern classic anyway. It's similar in the kind of the wave system, how that works. Although it's inverted, so you do all your building and you get your peace during the day, then at night the enemies come. So this is another great inspiration and reference point for the game. And also just where it positions itself in the market as like a small team, indie dev. I think Jonas Tyrola and his team are particularly excellent at making games. So it's hard to hold us to the same standard, but this is certainly inspiration. And then another one it's similar to would be Against the Storm. Against the Storm is also similar in its theme mostly. So this is kind of a city builder, whereas ours is a forest builder. But I think the graphical art style is quite similar to us, as well as this is like a flip. So in this game, you're humans against nature and fighting the forest, and the forest is angry at you using the resources. So it's literally like a exact kind of opposite to what our game is. So I think this is an interesting one to look at, as well as its position kind of in the market as well. Is another thing that we're interested in. Also a great game.
That's a lot of UI.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Jeez.
Brendan's the UI guy. So.
Oh, yeah. Mm. Well, I think like what we've also been trying to achieve with Grovekeeper is to be easy on newcomers to the genre and not be as, I guess, we're not going to say there's no depth, because there's going to be depth, or there is depth, but there's not as much management as I can assume is in this. Like, I haven't played this, but just looking at that UI, I'm like, holy moly. There's 10 million things that you got to be managing at all times and be aware of and constantly doing, that maybe doesn't make a game like this as approachable to people.
I would agree.
Yeah, great for those who love this kind of game. Like, boom, you're straight in it and you know what you're getting. But
this is all about min-maxing your production line and all that kind of stuff. So, like, that's the whole premise of this game is trying to be like efficient and make your little factories work efficiently. So, it's not the same genre. It's definitely not the same genre.
Yeah, cool. I think when you're streaming some of those two things, when you're streaming those, your video sometimes drops out.
Yeah, I noticed
so maybe
that. My video's on the fritz. As long as you can hear my voice, I think that should be okay.
That's all. Yeah. We can superimpose you with someone else in post. Cool.
Okay,
all we need is.
I'm going to stop streaming now. Maybe Brendan, do you want to go through the project and show the Unity project?
Yeah. Before, just show a bit of some more of that inspiration stuff. Or I guess
go the mirror board.
Yeah. So let me.
I'll stop.
You stop sharing. I'll jump control and watch this whole thing fall apart. Share that.
Infinite abilities.
Yeah, this creative concepts guide, I guess, has been a good point of reference. So just going back to what Grovekeeper's about and what we're trying to get out of it. Like, I guess, it's heavily inspired by Celtic, Norse, and Slavic mythologies. So trying to get elements of that into the game. Billy spoke about, I guess you only spoke about Manor Lords, didn't you? No, you didn't even speak of any of these three, but
no.
these three are also quite inspirational for it. I think Warcraft 3 is your main.
Warcraft 3 is a big one, yeah.
Yeah, the thing you played as played a lot. Complete caveat, like I grew up without PCs, so these genres were kind of like lost on me. I'd always see them in my hyper magazines and go, oh, I wonder what they're like, but I'm stuck here with a console, and I love the console. But there was a whole like genres just didn't exist on console. Like RTSs, aside from the occasional port you'd see, like weren't a thing. So working on Grove Keepers opened me up to a lot of these.
That's where Myth 2
games.
comes in, isn't it? Because Myth 2 is a console, or playable on console, I think.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Go and check that out. Mechanically and gameplay wise, yeah, some of these Age of Empires, Dungeon Keeper. All right, now this was the fun part. So you play the forest, you control guardian units, and a lot of fun come out with these characters. So Billy had a couple before I jumped on board. So we had like the satyr, and completely aware that yes, satyr comes from Greek mythology. So we're not sticking to strict prescribed mythologies, I guess you could say. It's going to be a kind of a bit of a bastardization of a fair few of them. But looking at these characters, it's more about what's a cool looking character that has an interesting background that we could mechanically create something from as well. So yeah, the satyr, most people know of a satyr if you didn't know it by name, but you know the kind of character. And some really cool designs there. They're kind of like a run and gun unit. Then we've got the Orcus, your classic orc style character. Every game's got to have one of those, I feel. You know, the big brooding, hulking kind of character. A big attack unit. Probably can go into a rage state and things like that. The Leshy, known as, I think, the Green Man. I was told also it can be referred to by the Green Man.
I think it's technically different, but I think it's like the English equivalent, and he's like a god.
Yeah. Okay, so equivalents, yeah. So across all this mythology, there's a lot that just overlap and have either an equivalent or just a different name and slightly different ways they behave. So yeah, Leshy, he's kind of like the hero one that we've used a lot in the marketing and stuff like that. The Goblin, once again, another classic creature.
Although I've just been doing a lot of research into the Goblin. For a little short that I'm making, and it's interesting to see in the same way how almost every culture on the planet Earth has a goblin in it. So a goblin is like, for some reason, just like part of the human psyche on a really deep level. Everyone's got their version of it.
Well, what then makes a goblin? Is it just like a small, ugly character or creature?
Essentially, mischievous. Yeah. They tend to be mischievous. Yeah.
Mischievous, almost like the outcasts of whatever society they're in.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Voginoi, which I think when we were doing research, we came across this guy and we're like, all right, this is cool. Like a water creature. We want to have some water creatures. This frog-like character. Across all, I think it was in a couple of different. Or was it? No, it was mostly in Slavic. Sorry, this is the Slavic one. Yeah. So we're figuring out, cool, we've got something that can be around water that can utilize that mechanically, and just has a cool design.
Frogman,
yeah, the Huldra, yet to implement, but another one that in research just sounded cool and will fit into the game. They basically. They're a woodland creature, but seduces humans, lures them into the forest where she kills them. When they die, they turn into trees. So that's kind of like, well, hey, that fits in with our concept quite a bit.
It's interesting to see just how many of these creatures do kind of fit into the concept. Like a glove like so perfectly. Like in
Yeah,
some
because I
way.
guess a lot of mythology, I guess, is about nature,
Yeah.
or
And
you
about
know,
warning children about the dangers of the forest and all sorts of stuff. Like there's lots of that.
yeah. Don't go playing out in the forest, because there's a huldra now. We're like, don't go walking down the street because there's a guy with a knife.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of concept,
Don't
but
don't don't accept candy from a stranger. Yeah.
yeah. So so huldra is one that we're keen to implement. The kelpie, really like the idea of this one, like this water creature that just a water horse that can come out of bodies of water. So that was one that I think once we came across it and said yes, we're going to implement it within a week. I think it was in the game, and just a lot of fun. So kelpie, another exploration that I don't know what's going to happen with the dryad.
I'll come back to the dryad.
You're happy to
I'll
look back
revisit
to
the
the
dryad.
dryad?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the dryad's interesting. I think
Yeah.
another Greek one actually, the dryad,
Yeah. So what is another tree creature though?
or maybe Norse. What's the origin of that one?
It says Greek.
Oh, Greek. Okay, yeah.
I may be wrong. There's one that I really want, the Banshee.
Yeah.
Just I think it'd be cool to have this character that flies around the game world and like maybe it doesn't quite kill them, but it yells at them loud enough that they all just become stunned. Like it's like a stun.
Or they just run off the map.
Right.
They run away.
Yeah, or maybe or they run, or their ears explode and their head pops. That could be cool. But
Isn't that one of the
I
best
think,
thing about this game is how much we can kind of make any idea kind of work, which is really fun for us to think about.
Yeah, so we can fit that in, and I think a lot of people know of the Banshee. It's like it's a more well-known creature.
Definitely, it's entered the common parlance. People say "screamed like a banshee," and that's a
Yeah. I grew up reading X-Men comics, so cool Banshee. That's how I knew. Even though in the comics the original Banshee was a male guy, and that's actually full caveat for anyone watching. That's not Banshee. That's Siren, Banshee's daughter. But you get the idea. And then looking at our human units, we've got the woodcutters. They basically they log. Their objective is to cut down your trees. Hunters, they hunt your wildlife. Fairly, common in that time frame. The warriors, they're there to take out your guardians. I guess their motive is like to use your guardian's head as a trophy. Would you say, like, if you're a warrior, like you're hunting creatures, I guess
their motivation is to protect their workers.
Okay.
They're
like
the hunters. The woodcutters are like, boys, you got to come down and protect us. There's monsters in the forest,
Okay, so that's the warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they're the three that if you've play tested the game, like they're the ones that we've got in there currently. Then we're looking to add burners. So this one I'm really excited for. People who they burn the trees down, or they can start fires and it spreads. Even your guardians could catch on fire, and you got to manage that by extinguishing them.
Yeah.
Maybe even an upgrade to one of the archer hunter types could be a fire arrow, which could be quite cool. Polluters as well as an idea, that we've got lots of these waterways, and people go in, they start doing stuff which leads to essentially stuff not being able to grow. So that, I think, less for what they actually are. I like the mechanic idea of, hey, here's something that could poison your waterways, which means that you don't have access to that resource, which means you couldn't summon a kelpie, or Voginoi's weaker, or there's these other things that can come from not keeping your river clean.
Well, the way you'd tie that in thematically would be, they would be like tanners, who have terrible kind of effluent that just flows into the rivers. So they'd be like the tanners, and they don't exactly they don't kind of stop they don't attack your units, but they kind of just stop you from being able to use any of your water powers, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, and they just go to a water place and they just stop there and they just set up camp.
Yeah.
Like they're like harmless to your units in the sense that they don't attack your units at all.
Yeah.
Or your trees, but they just prevent you from being able to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Heretics, another one that I think initially when we're talking about this, I don't think Billy was as on board with this idea. I don't know what your opinion is still, because we haven't actually looked through this for quite a while.
Well, the heretics implies like a Christianity that I'm not so interested in including in the game.
But what about then? Like, can there be a heretic that's not Christian based, or is it?
I think that
is a heretic by definition a Christian.
I'm not sure if by definition, but I think that's certainly where it's like, you know, how it's understood by most people.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe there's an equivalent elsewhere. But I like the idea that there's these characters that can like hypnotize / take control of your units and flip them.
So we can try and figure out a different branding for them, but
different branding, but mechanically,
like
I was just
sage or something, or mage. Mage.
Yeah, mage or a sage.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Something like that falls in that category. And then the lords, which are like your end boss, I guess, for each section. So they'll take a lot of hit points. Billy can expand upon them, I guess, a little bit more.
Well, in Dungeon Keeper, at the end of the level, you know, a voice comes over. It says, "The Lord of the Land approaches," and a lord comes. So that's kind of a direct reference to that, a Lord of the Land, and there'll be sort of a unique one for each level. You know, increasing in power as the levels progress. Yeah,
cool. All right. Speaking of levels, we plan on having 5 levels. So Ironwood, where you start, basically it's almost untouched. It's still the forest, and the humans have only just started to encroach in. So not much, if any, man-made structures yet, but maybe a bit of clearings and pathways that they've been working on. Then we get to a roadway, so they've started to build their roads, take over a little bit more of the land. Progressing there, Jotunheim Pass. I think this would allow for quite a dramatic environment, like a big cliff tops and a bridge or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this would be a real point where all of a sudden elevation might come into play.
Yeah.
In the game world. Oh, maybe mix those ones up. Oswin's Crossing. Now, that doesn't have to look like these images. This is just for reference, but another idea of, I guess we're getting much more into human settlement by this point.
Yeah.
So now the level would be, I'd say more than 50% would be man-made structures and houses and stuff like that. And then the final one will be in the city, or Steinport gates, or I guess at the gates of the city. So
just out front.
Just out front, because we still need a little bit of area for us to be able to summon guardians and do stuff from. But within there's only going to be like small patches of perhaps dirt that you could plant some trees or get to. So that's going to be where the challenge comes in that stage. So 5 stages all up, and we're going to offer, for our difficulty levels, we're thinking different seasons. So we start with spring. You know, spring's great. Everything grows in the spring, and things are nice. Things are easy.
Yeah.
But then summer comes along, it gets a bit hotter. So
the heat becomes a problem. Yeah.
Heat becomes a thing. Yep. Autumn.
Autumn is when things start. The leaves start falling off the trees. The trees are less productive. But they still work, but they're not. You know, in winter is when the trees don't work really much at all. So that's how that grades.
Yeah.
It maps quite nicely onto it, I think.
Yeah. I think the winter's going to be really cool. Just saying, cool. Winter is harsh. Yeah, trees produce a quarter of their thing. Units, if you don't move them, maybe they freeze. So quite a cool quite a lot of cool stuff I think we can do with winter, as well as visually create some nice variants to the levels. Okay, so yeah, that was a bit of just the background of that.
Yeah, it's good to go through those. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, yeah, just getting back on board with that. So, all right, behind the scenes peek, here is our Unity project. It's a bit of a mess. And this is the way I like to lay out my Unity inspector. It was funny, I was chatting to one of the guys at the co-working space, and he only just realized that you could redock panels in certain ways.
Right.
And so it was just like a game changer. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, like so much easier to do stuff. For those who don't know, I'll just save this one because the default Unity layout is, it's not bad. I find it horrendous.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
Like,
do we need to see that many folders? Yeah.
Yeah, but like I had to go here to then go over to here. Like I want to work on that thing. Like you're constantly jumping all over the screen.
And because you taught me Unity, Brendan, that's how I have to have it now as well. So
the same way. It just makes to me more sense. And you don't have the game and the scene view visible at the same time, which I always feel you should have both visible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I came up. Well, I'm not gonna say I came up with this, but this is the one that I ended up settling on, where I've got, I guess, everything I need. And occasionally, when I've got multi-monitors, I'll snap off a game view so I can have that full screen. But this works quite well.
Now, did we end up fixing the
no,
Stormer UI?
I don't believe so. Well, I haven't looked at it yet. So Billy put in the Stormer last week, and let me see. I'll press play.
It's meant to disappear in the script, but I think there's an error. It's like
there was an error that popped up. Okay. Once again, if you know Unity, you know you wait a long time. Oh, maybe there's no error.
Okay, should be good.
Chug, chug, chug. All right, I've got to fix that skip. This is to do with new controller input now, but certain buttons don't quite work as they should. No, I guess that's fixed. All right.
You can see.
Oh yeah, but now I can't click on anything.
Ah, well, you know that's game breaking.
Yeah. So it is good. No, I've got to go to the input manager and change it back to keyboard and mouse. There's that error.
Well, let's do that on stream right now. That'd be exciting.
What? Go to the keyboard and mouse?
Yeah. Is there anything more exciting than going into the input manager of Unity?
Let's see. Well, no. So I've put the keyboard map there. And for those who don't use the new input system, it is really good. It's also a little daunting at first. I've got to recall now what I have to set up. I think it's on the UI manager, the event system. That should listen to, not that, that's the problem. That should listen to this input system. So with the new input system, the way the UI works is it's kind of treated as a separate kind of system. So it knows when a mouse is over it when you click on it, but that doesn't correlate to then game controllers. So with the controller system, you need to say that this tree, for example, this spruce, is the active object and is selected. Okay. So at the moment, the event system, if you have a look over here, which is telling us what is being selected, it doesn't say anything is selected. But the UI system just knows that something is highlighted. So that when I click that, now it's selected. But hovering over it doesn't select an object. So that's where there's this challenge now. And after I click that, now it's deselected that. So I've been working on the controller system because we wanted to get it to work with controllers.
Steam Deck
So
and
by,
other things.
by extension, yeah, it'll work on the Steam Deck. And for me, as I said, console background, I want to play this on PlayStation. So all of that. So that's what I'm doing over the next couple of weeks, is figuring all of this out. But that was something that I came across last Friday when I was working on it. Something that needs to be fixed, but like all things, there's a solution out there. I've just got to find it. Okay, looking at this, I mean, we might do a deep dive on the project.
We'll do that next time. Maybe.
Next time in a little bit. Got a bit of cleaning up that we need to do. Like all things, after a while, if you don't look after your house and clean it regularly, it just becomes a little bit of a mess. So I think we can clean this up a bit, and then I'd be happy to sort of walk through the project and go through some of the processes of how all the systems work together, like all these manager classes and setting up prefabs, and how that could potentially help other developers, especially newcomers who are still trying to figure stuff out. It's like, here's a system that works pretty well.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a sneak peek behind it, but essentially we've got the core stuff that every level has, and then we have the level-specific stuff down here. So the terrains, all the environments, the spawn points, the different sites that we can spawn here, and all of that cool jazz. So that's where the project's at. I think in terms of play tests, I know people at PAX were very keen to play test. We're putting that off until we've got a next major, I guess, update to be play tested, and that to me I think is the Steam Deck build. We need to check, does it run on Steam Deck all right? What's the frame rate like? Do the controls work? So there's a bit for us to nut out regarding that side, I think, before the next play test. So thinking of when that's going to be,
early next year, probably.
Probably early next year, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a look at the project. A couple of other things I'm happy to share with some people is our wish lists. So for those who don't know, I'm sure you all do, wish lists is like the currency of the game dev community. It's kind of like, people begging in the streets, please, sir, can I have a wish list off you? And that's seemingly like what all of PAX was about. It's just like, sir, give me your wish list.
Please, yeah.
Because, it is the thing that there are direct correlations with the amount of wish lists to expectations. Now, not everything it's not 100%, but there's like 90% chances if you hit this benchmark, you will do this kind of result. Okay, so wish lists are that thing that we're all striving to get prior to release. So where we're sitting at, we're at exactly 1,000, Billy. Look at that.
That is unreal. That's like when your odometer reaches a round number and you just like, yes.
Yeah. You just want to take screenshots.
I almost don't want any more.
No, keep it at 1,000.
Another 1,000 at the exact same time would be great.
Yeah. So if we have a wish list conversion of 1-to-1, that's pretty good. All right. Unfortunately, I think it's about 10-to-1.
Yeah.
No. Wish lists are better than that. But either way, so we're sitting at 1,000 by release. I mean, we're going to power on and get 100,000. So we're 10th, 100. We've got 1,000. We're 1% of the way.
Let's settle for 50, and then we
50,000.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go. But I like using this dashboard because you can do some really cool time-based stuff. So if I have a look at our wish lists from October 9th to October 14th that week, We have a
break it down like that.
10,000% increase in wish lists.
Yeah, well,
That's
that
good.
makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So cool. Huge numbers to put into like marketing decks. What's that actually? Oh, it's 663. So it's not an exorbitant amount. It's just that's a lot compared to the 5 or 6 that we had before.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing we should do, Brendan, is maybe look at some Steam events and see if we can get that number to bump again.
Yeah. So there's quite a lot that happen. There's almost monthly events that are built around specific genres. So there was this year, unfortunately, we missed it because we just weren't ready for it. There was a tower defense event. There's like themed events. There's
something that requires though is a playable demo, right? So we'd actually have to have something for people to play. You can't.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you have to have a playable for those events. But yeah, the big one for us will be Next Fest, which we're looking to do probably October for the October one next year. And that should hopefully push this off. But as I said, like at the very start, part of these streams is to generate a bit of marketing buzz and to try and build this thing. I want to keep coming back to this thing. Oh, 1001. Thank
that's
you.
Spuddy. Cheers, Spuddy.
Yeah. So there we go. Like, great. We've got to keep this number chugging. I didn't realize that updated in real time. That was pretty cool. Some other cool stuff that I was just looking at early before. Like we've got our Steam page up. We haven't done anything to promote it or anything since putting it up and getting it ready for PAX. But, it's got 552 visits over the last week, which is pretty good, like just passive visits.
Yeah.
And I think, there's different things you can do to try and boost that. So looking at these visibility rounds and all of that, which we can't do until it's time for launch. But yeah, that's where we are. So if you have a look at this page, I think we'll get, honestly, it'll be good to see the difference when we update the capsule art.
Yeah, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, that will
and see how that makes a difference, as well as just going through our tags again and seeing if there's some optimization around that, a bit around our blurbs. And hey, look, there's us. Cool, thumbs up. Thank you, whoever gave us the thumbs up. Yeah, just a bit more optimizing the Steam page, I think, can get us hopefully in a few more people's feeds.
Yeah. Go back to more like this. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
Beyond
the more
the
like
Grove.
this,
We'll see about that.
I keep getting Google alerts about Beyond the Grove.
Right.
So do you know about Google alerts?
No, but you put in a hot word, do you? A keyword or whatever?
Yeah. Basically, you just put in the keyword and it notifies you whenever people are searching for that.
Right.
Or whenever that term pops up on publications or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was how I found out about the PC Power Play. Is there was a Google alert and said PC Power Play said this. So I keep getting ones talking about Beyond the Grove because there is not a character called Grove Keeper, but there's a Keeper of the Grove within the game.
That's in Dota, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Keeper of the Grove is a Dota character. I don't know.
Okay. So I got all that. Yeah, these are, I think they're generally based off your tags as well as what other people who like your game are also.
Yeah.
In. So it keeps doing that. So yeah.
This is exactly where we sit, I think, this kind of stuff. So
these are all like, the equivalents. So yeah, good to see our competition. Good to see what people are like, what those games.
And what they're charging as well is interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, are we this kind of level? I think so. Like to me, this is our price bracket, the $29.99
I agree.
kind of premium. Yeah. So that's the Steam stuff. That's where we're at with that, and that's what I hope to hopefully keep sharing. Is like these numbers going up, looking good for us, so that when we hit the ground running with our release, we're in the best possible space we can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, this was our first stream.
Yeah.
Literally my first stream ever, really, apart from like, I mean, does FaceTime count as a stream? Kind of. So there were some issues with us getting it to work, but we're going to try and make this a regular thing. Regardless of how many people choose to join us. And yeah, we're going to keep ourselves accountable, make sure that we're working on stuff that's interesting. So yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a good, just for Billy and I to catch up a bit too. Even though, we catch up
basically
earlier.
Just broadcasting our staff meeting, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
And then we figured stuff out. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for your questions, Spuddy, or questions, or just your input. And yeah, I think it's that thing that we're just going to keep doing this, and I'm sure traction will come. And that's the thing. It's always like consistency and perseverance will get you where you want. And don't be disheartened if 2 people show up.
And we'll just leave this up as well as a video you can watch on the channel.
Yeah. Just turn it into just a regular video.
So people, if people are interested in a more podcast kind of vibe, then that's what we got.
Yeah, cool. And then maybe it just turns into that Billy and Brendan just reminisce about the old days, and talk about games we've played, and become just like one of the million other podcasts out there.
Yeah. Our opinion's better, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna end this broadcast, but thank you, Brendan.
All right. Thank you, Billy. Thanks to everyone who watched live, and thanks for those who watch post live in the future. And drop us comments, likes, wish lists, all of that.
Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you want to see from us. So
Yeah. Please do. If you like, can you show us how the water shader works? Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, let's pull that apart. Please don't do that, because I didn't write that. Don't do the water shader. Maybe Billy knows that better though.
Yeah, I know what all the little sliders do on the script. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Sweet.
All right.
Peace.
Okay. See you all.